You know what? I was going to do a formal start for everybody, but let's be honest. We got two comedian podcasters here. There's really no need for that formal crap. So we just kind of slide right into the program. Everybody, you know who this is. This is Anthony Thomas. You got Kevin Gootee from the Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast. And what you have here is a couple of comedian podcasters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the script on my friend here. I'm going to flip the script a little bit because I know, what I want to do first actually is I'm just curious about the podcast and the format and why you chose it. Because everybody, when you have a podcast, a lot of times you have somebody who's a connoisseur of something, and obviously they want to express themselves. And you do the podcast Getting the Sacred Cow, where you deconstruct a movie that, for lack of a better way of saying it, stinks. Uh,
Close, close. So and thank you for having me. Most importantly, I appreciate the intro and lead in. So the story is this for all the S. Anthony's fans. Welcome. I'm Kevin Gootee. The story Gutting the Sacred Cow podcast is this. We invite our guests to pick a film that they find overrated or hate. But here's the twist. The film must meet one of these criteria: widely beloved, critically acclaimed, or financially successful. So you can't come on and say, Friday the 13th part 8, that's a real piece of shit. Yeah, we know it stinks. All right. So the goal is to have people come on and say, I hate this film that everyone loves, or made a ton of money, or won a ton of awards. Having the balls to stand on that hill, sometimes by yourself, and have that opinion. Sometimes we agree with you. Sometimes we're like, meh, it's okay. I'm not going to go out on a limb. And sometimes we're like, no, you're a fucking asshole. That film is beautiful or perfect or amazing or whatever. So how does it work? You tell me, and you'll listen to the episodes and you'll hear, do we agree? Do we not agree?
Now, what is the film that that you absolutely loved? You thought was the greatest thing in the world, and then someone came in and put a hot steaming one on top of it.
Great question. I have to go cheat now and look, but I'd be glad to do that. There are several that when they say, usually it's Kevin and I setting up the guest, and then they'll email and they'll say, oh, this is the film I want to do. Sometimes the film they choose it's not juicy enough, for lack of a better word, because the goal is when you, the listener, look at our when you subscribe, when you see our next episode come in, we want you to get viscerally upset. Like, what? This motherfucker has the balls to go after blah, blah, blah. So we have to sometimes tell people like, nah, no one's going to give a shit if you eviscerate the English patient. No one fucking cares. So we have to find something else. I will tell you some of the films that really took us by surprise that people, so I'm sorry, you're asking that surprised us after we watched them again and their argument?
Yes.
Okay. So after we watched the film and heard their argument, a lot of times, and it's going to sound like a cheap way out, but so be it. A lot of times these films hang themselves. Although, to give credit where credit is due, the guest will, I've done this, I don't know, maybe 10 times. I will drop my score, sometimes a half point, rarely a full point, but I'll change my score of that film based on the argument. No one has ever got me to go from one pendulum, swing of the pendulum to the other. So it's not like, oh my God, I love that film. And then an hour later, oh my God, you're right. That film is a complete piece of shit. No, I will not do that. I will say the films after I rewatched them, that really like, ooh, doesn't hold up. I'm looking right now. Inception.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved it when it came out, and you're like, ooh, boy, nothing. I liked The Goonies. I didn't love it as much as everybody, but wow, watch that as an adult without the nostalgia blinders on. You will be singing a different tune. I promise you. Face Off, Batman Returns, I think, is the one in the mantle that we're like, oh boy. When we were, and Mike Price did that. Mike Price has done 2 films for us. He's a writer for The Simpsons and created the show F is for Family. What a nice guy. Love Mike Price. He's like, yeah, Batman Returns sucks. I go, dude, good luck. Because I remember seeing that in the theater. I own it. I go, Batman Returns is good. Watching it again, you're like, ooh, there are many problems with this. I'm looking to see if anything else. I would say a lot more overrated, or it's not as strong as it used to be. But I'm trying. Oh, X-Men, the first X-Men film, that's not that good. Watch that again as an adult, you'll go, ugh. But those are the ones I would say that jump out most to me. That are the ones you're just most like, oh, ooh,
Yeah, I tried to do Face Off again in a hotel.
right.
I saw it in the movie theater. Yeah, man, this is great. And then I watched it again and went, ooh.
I mean, it's 2.5 hours. I forgot how goddamn long it was. And you're like, oh, I'm like, wait, there's more. But as I'm watching it, and now the comedian in me, I'm watching and go, we could have all figured this out. The wife could have figured this out in 2 seconds when, Travolta gets naked and sees, oh, wait, that's not my husband's dick. Like, there's something amiss here. Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
like, the face is the same, but he's got man tits now. What happened? So that's one way we could have fixed that film fast.
That's when I started laughing in the movie. I'm going, so you have a blindfold on when you have sex with your husband and his penis is exactly the same and he does exactly the same things. He doesn't do things better or worse. What is this?
One can only assume that they just fuck doggy style and she faces and there's no mirror on the back of the bed and that's it.
You should call the movie
just straight.
You should call the movie Face Away. But that's the thing. Now, were you a film buff, a hardcore film buff before you decided to do this particular show?
100%. I would say there are a few things I am insanely amazing at. Knowing sports and gambling, like NFL betting and stuff like that. I'm very, very good at that. And movies are another. You can, maybe argue video games to a degree, but not as much anymore. But sports and movies are my two bailiwicks. And I've been a film guy since Christ. I love going. I remember the first film I saw in the theater. Like, I remember seeing it, which was Star Wars. They brought it out when Empire came out as a re-release. And the scenes I remember, the most bold one was where they're in the trash compactor room. I fell in love with movies right then and there. And then E.T. I saw in the theater as a kid. I saw it every time it came out. And I still to this day cry like a little fucking girl when the flowers die and when he goes away. And that music, man, John Williams' score is brilliant. So yeah, I've always been a film guy since I don't know how long.
Let's be honest. Longshoremen cry when E.T. disappears. You know what I mean? It's just the toughest guy in the world.
Would you believe? Oh yeah. Would you believe we had a gal come on our podcast and say that E.T. sucks? And that's Britt McHenry. She used to be on ESPN, and her friend, who actually I got Britt from, Jen Eckhart. She came on to do. Are you ready for this one? Toy Story.
Oh my God! Is there any way
let's just say. Remember that scene in Fargo where they were throwing the body in the wood chipper? That's what happened times 2.
All I want to say is you should have a list as a backdrop of people who are banned from the show.
I love first of all, I love those two. I love those two, and they're coming back because they have more taste that I'm like, we're going to talk about this. And she was just like, it's one of the worst films ever. Go, Toy Story is perfect on Rotten Tomatoes. That never happens. Plus, every one of those films, not the fourth one. The fourth one was missing, and it's impossible because the third one ended so perfectly. Everything was a big bow, and it was emotion evoking. And you walked out, yes, that was it. And when I read they were doing 4 ago, the absolute best they can do is hope to tie it. Just to tie it. That's the best they can do because the first was so perfect. I
got to find this out since we're talking sequels. This I have to find out. This is guy to guy in middle age and guy approaching middle age. I've got to find out what you feel about this set of sequels.
Sure.
Born.
The Bourne films? Okay. Now, we're talking the trilogy and the one with Ed Norton and then the one with Matt Damon, or are we talking?
I don't acknowledge the ones that don't have Matt Damon in it, okay?
So the ones, Ed Norton is out. All right. The Bourne sequels. All right, you ready for this? The Bourne Ultimatum, which is the third one, is the best of the bunch.
There we go. Okay.
And then the first one is the second best.
Okay.
And I didn't like 2. I rewatched it not long ago. It's not that good. I don't remember Jason Bourne.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I remember is it was in Vegas for a minute. I'm a Vegas guy. I just got back last week from Vegas. And that's all I remember about the film. But and again, same thing. Bourne Ultimatum ended everything perfectly. Big bow tie. Everyone's happy. Why go back to the well? I know, money, but it just it didn't hit on so many levels for me. So I go 3, 1, and I don't remember. And I, like you, I don't acknowledge 4, but I don't remember where 5 fits. So I guess I'll have to put 2 and then 5, but not a hard answer on that.
It reminds me of the Rocky films it's almost like they started out. I want to make a movie. Okay, I want to make some money off that movie. I want to make some money. I want to make some more money. I want to make something that blows. And then I want to make a movie again, because I can watch 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just can't do it with 5. I can't.
No one can. 5's awful.
I just, when the movie literally annoyed me, and I very rarely go to a movie theater because I usually am so picky about what I actually physically go to see, because it's $15. It's not a lot of money. Who cares, right? But it's the principle of the thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there going, I'm not leaving. I'm not walking out. Not gonna walk out. I'm gonna sit through this. And it annoyed the crap out of me. As a person who was born and raised in Philadelphia, I was doubly offended. I was doubly offended by the damn movie. And the last one, I kind of dug that one. It was nostalgic for me. I was like, okay, just stop now. If they could have completely taken, if I was going to buy it on DVD, I would literally buy the set and ceremoniously, it would be like a nice
number 5 a Viking funeral.
I would burn that thing, just like I would burn the episodes of Married with Children with that kid called 7 on it. I would burn those episodes. And
oh yeah, I forgot about 7. That's the old jump the shark moment when you introduce the weird kid. Like, remember, I mean, Family Matters, Urkel, when they brought the kid in with the Jerry curls, like, wait, what? Where did he pop out? She wasn't pregnant at all. What's going on here? Anytime. And Growing Pains. You know who's the kid they brought in? Leonardo DiCaprio. What the fuck? That's when they run out of steam and go, let's bring a kid in here. That'll shake things up. Whoops.
Yeah, sitcoms basically, to me, are very, very similar to, I would say, athletes, but some athletic careers are extended. I say an athlete, but when I think of athlete, I think of a running back in the NFL, right? They come out of school at 20, and then right after 30,
unless your name is Adrian Peterson, running backs start hitting the shit around 27.
That guy's a freak, dude. I mean, come on.
I mean, he was back from an ACL in 5 months or something insane. And he ran for something stupid, well over 1,000, maybe 1,500 yards. I mean, he was the same Adrian Peterson after that. And the guy is a fucking machine. I think this is his first year not in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is Hugh Jackman better watch out, because I see another Wolverine. No, I don't need the special effects. Just point me in the direction. I'll run through that wall, But it's just one of those things where, like with the Rocky, back to the Rocky thing, it's just that sometimes that you just want to take that movie out. You want to take that disc out and just crack it. And with the Bourne ones, I like the first 3. The fourth one was one of those things where I liked it, but it didn't fit with the other ones. I went, okay, if it was a standalone movie, I'd go, okay, it's all right. It's okay. I'm not sorry I saw that. All right. But it didn't, it's very similar to, once again, using athletes as an example. A guy who comes out of retirement and he rushes for 48 yards and scores a touchdown in a garbage game. And you go, okay, you look pretty good for a guy that came in off the street. You scored a touchdown in the game. That's good. You did something. You can show your grandkids that you played football. Get off the field. So that was the thing that I got a kick out of, because I normally dislike sequels. Caddyshack 2, Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Caddyshack 2 is I call that war crimes in The Hague. Awful. I mean, and by the way, you kind of touched on a nerve, as you're going to find out. Caddyshack is my all-time personal favorite film.
As it should be.
I love it. You're goddamn right. It should be. I mean, it's an amazing classic. It's still beautiful, hilarious, holds up. Probably the most quoted line I've ever encountered. But 2 is just, and so actually I should have written my senior thesis on this in movie TV classes. You cannot have 2 parts to a sequel. If the original film is R, you cannot ever go from an R to a PG-13 or a PG. It never works. Never. I think we did on the podcast, we found one film, and I'm blanking on the instance it was, that it did work, but I can't remember it. Bottom line, it is definitely the exception, not the rule. Number 2, you cannot have a sequel come out 10 years past the original. See, for example, Indiana Jones 4, the Star Wars sequels, the 7, 8, 9 I'm talking about, not the prequels. That's a different story. Anything like that. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 2 to it will be 3. I don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll find out. But there has not been a sequel that's 20 years after that. Actually, I take that back. I can think of one. And that's Tron Legacy. That's amazing. I love Tron Legacy. It's way better than the first one. It's beautiful, beautifully shot. Soundtrack's amazing. Again, the exception, not the rule. So 1, you can't go from an R to a PG-13 or a PG. 2, the sequel cannot be out 10 years after the original or the last installment of that film.
So you don't want to see Chuck Norris's The Octagon 15?
I couldn't tell you the last Chuck Norris film I saw.
I was good with Chuck Norris movies when I was like a child. I was a little child.
Delta Force, great. Braddock missing in action, sure. Everything else?
Hey, you forgot one. The legendary Invasion USA. Man. You have never seen Invasion?
I didn't forget that.
How dare you?
I didn't forget that. I lived it.
How?
Or Lone Wolf McQuade.
Lone Wolf McQuade. Whenever that comes on, when I turn on the television and I see first of all, I know what it is within a nanosecond. I know it's Lone Wolf McQuade immediately, and I begin chuckling. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm watching this. It's like finding a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich that's 3 days old in the refrigerator. I think I can eat this. It's been in the refrigerator. There's not too much bacteria on it. That's what that is. Because I just get a kick out of those. Because as a guy, sometimes I just want to watch something that's ridiculously stupid. Does someone get kicked in the throat? Does something blow up? Great, I'm there. All right, fantastic.
All in. No problem with that. Shit blowing up. Like, here's a perfect example. And this is one of the very few reboots I highly endorse. Have you seen Dredd?
No, I have not.
It's fucking amazing. It's great. Because the original Judge Dredd with Stallone is fucking trash. I hate reboots. A lot of them I won't watch. Like, for example, the RoboCop reboot. No thanks. The first one was just fucking brilliant. Total Recall, another Verhoeven film they tried rebooting. Nope. Schwarzenegger's version, amazing. Point Break, get the fuck out of here. Point Break is a cinematic gem. But this is the one time they got the reboot right. And I will also, and I'm not a Star Trek guy either, the first Star Trek reboot film is pretty damn good too. The second 2 are not. The next 2 films, the sequels stink. But rarely does a reboot work. That is a film. And back to my point, Dredd is an hour. It's so self-aware. It's an hour and 35 of shit blowing up and people getting shot and him fighting. That's all it is. It's methodical. It's like The Raid, but with Dredd and cool ass ammunition from a gun.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. I just thought of another sequel I want to check with you.
Please.
Actually, 2. Jesus. I just thought, and it's the same actor. I'm just going to mention the actor. I don't even need to mention the 2 movies I'm talking about, because once I mention the actor, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. Mr. Keanu Reeves.
Bill and Ted Part 2 is fucking terrible. It's awful. It's one of the worst sequels ever made. I rewatched that during quarantine. I go, what do you? And a lot of people love it. That film's trash. It's fucking abysmal. And I did not, and I don't ever think I will ever see Part 3. And then The Matrix, I think that's what you're going for. The Matrix 2 and 3 suck. The third one at least has the fight scene in the end is pretty badass. I'm very, very worried about Part 4. When you see Doogie Howser as a psychiatrist, I go, ugh. We want to see shit fighting here.
I saw the trailer and went, ooh. It's really one of those things where I won't be one of the people that see it week 1 or week 2. I literally need
I
to, I
will.
I have to have people go, bro, yeah. Because I went to see like John Wick. I enjoyed mainly because
I love John Wick.
you
The
know,
third one was a little when he goes to Africa, it loses steam. But when he goes back to New York, everything's hunky dory. Like that's what you want to see. Like John Wick one, great. John Wick two, great. John half of well, 2/3 of John Wick, great. But when he goes to Africa, like the whole, I'll go get my thumb cut or pinky cut off to save face. And now, do you know they're making a prequel called? Oh my God, what's the name of the building they go and all the guns are and they
oh
all hang
crap,
out
I
at the
can't.
hotel,
Yeah,
the hotel,
yeah.
whatever. It's a prequel based on the hotel, and it's what's his face, the guy Ian McShane, his character,
Mm-hmm.
the Continental. It's called the
Yeah,
Continental,
yeah.
and it's going to be Ian McShane as a younger guy in the Continental, like in the 70s or 80s or whatever. Who fucking cares? You want to see Keanu Reeves? You want to see the dog? You want to see horses kicking bad guys in the chest? You want to see people's heads getting cut off? You want to see gung fu for an hour and 45 minutes, and that's all you want to see.
You're damn right. Because I,
Right.
that was
Good enough for me.
yeah, that's an interesting thing because when I watch these films, I pay a lot of attention to the choreography of the fight scenes. I'm paying too much attention to the choreography of the fight scenes. Like when I
Right.
watched Ip Man movies, the Ip Man films.
I tried watching those for the very first time a couple weeks ago, and I just couldn't care. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, the fight scenes are amazing, but I just didn't care. I mean, the story is just so lazy, and I get it. It's all about him whipping ass, and he whips ass beautifully. But man, does it fucking drag! And it's a short film. It's like an hour and a half, hour and 45, somewhere in there. I couldn't get into it. I get why people love it. I'm not going to shit on it. It just never got to me.
Do you well, obviously you dug The Matrix, but I mean, do you enjoy martial arts films of that type, or is that an off genre for you?
I would say so. I mean, look, I was a huge, Seagal Van Damme fan in the 90s, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to qualify for the genre that you're speaking of. I'm sure you're talking about the Sonny Chiba stuff, Bruce Lee, maybe all that. And of course, Donnie Way, but not really. It's got to be special. Like The Raid and The Raid Redemption. I would consider those martial art films, right? Those are amazing.
Well, you spoke of you spoke of Mr. Lee. What did you think of the Bruce Lee movies?
I haven't seen him in so long. Enter the Dragon was good. I can't remember. I don't remember seeing any other. I probably did. I just don't remember seeing it. That's all.
Because I remember when his last film, The Game of Death, came out. I was a kid when that movie came out. It was his last film. They literally at the time they had 11 minutes of Bruce Lee, and they built a movie off of 11 minutes of footage. And it was a point in the movie. They had a cardboard cutout over a guy's face of Bruce Lee's face on the guy on the screen.
Oh my!
It was the ultimate money grab. And then later on, they found if you watch a documentary on Bruce Lee's life, they found 38 minutes, a 38-minute fight scene. So if they had found that, they could have made a movie and used that at the end, because at least you would have gotten to see a half an hour plus of Bruce Lee. But this thing was the original Game of Death was. I mean, I saw it. When the movie theater, you have a local movie theater, the movie goes through its normal cycle. Obviously,
Right.
I was 5 when it came out or something like that. So this is 10
Your
years
parents
later.
took us to see your Bruce Lee film when you were 5.
No, it was 5 when it came out. I didn't see it till I was 13.
Okay.
yeah, I didn't see it till I was 13. Oh God,
Right,
no! I couldn't even listen. I couldn't even listen to the comedy albums at that point.
Adventurous.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was 13, and that was that's right around when they go, okay, if you want to go downtown and watch a movie, you go right ahead, buddy. And you go watch the movie, and you're going, oh man, he broke his arm. This is fantastic. Oh, neck breaking. I think I found a new genre for myself. I think I'm going to watch a movie with dudes get their arms broken.
I'm pretty liberal with films, but my daughter is 6, and I don't think that would be on the agenda for her. Nor do I think she would care.
Yeah. First of all, you're probably not going to be. You're probably going to try to stop her at 16 from watching these movies, and at 26 and at 36. I don't care if you have kids. You're not seeing it. You get over. Everybody gets super protective of the daughters. We all know that. The son.
I don't mind that. I just mind. I don't know about this. I mean, my parents were hard. They were pains in the asses. Like I couldn't see a lot of R-rated films until I was 17. Like I think I was allowed to see Seagal films and shit like that, or Van Damme stuff. But my mother, she saw Silence of the Lambs. She goes, "You're not seeing that until the day you turn 17." She thought I was gonna fuck with my head. And here, but here I am watching Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween shit. I'm like, well, what's the difference here? In for a penny, in for a pound.
Was she familiar with what Seagal's films actually were?
No, but I mean, what's funny, I made my dad, because the one theater, there were 3 theaters in our area, and the one was notoriously hard on giving kids under the age of 17, let them into R-rated films. And it was Marked for Death, the Jamaican one with Seagal. Yeah. And my dad was just dropping us off, and it was so funny. Why do I remember this? There were 4 theaters. I remember 3 of the 4 movies. I know it's Fantasia, the re-release of Fantasia. Mm-hmm. I know it, and I'm pretty sure it was like Prince Graffiti Bridge and Marked for Death. And the 4th one was another R-rated film. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, Marked for Death. They're like, yeah, you can't go. You're an adult. And I go, like, yeah, 3 for Fantasia. Then they go, yeah, nice try. You're not coming in. So I had to go chase my dad down before he left to come get us. And can you just buy us 4 tickets to go see Marked for Death? And he walked, they tore his ticket. They walked in and we walked out. He walked right the fuck out. I'm not sitting through this shit.
Because I just get a kick out of Steven Seagal movies, because somehow, some way, you could have a movie where Steven Seagal is in the middle of a desert somewhere, and at some point, somehow, miraculously, a pool table with pool cues is going to show up. So
Out for Justice, baby. Anyone seen Richie? And you know why he did Bobby Lupo? I'm going to keep coming back till someone remembers seeing Richie.
It's funny watching them roll up that pool cue into the.
So he takes like the rag and he puts the cue ball in it and he smashes the guy in the face. He spits out teeth. He goes, "You fucking knocked my teeth out." And then like 3 minutes later, they're fighting. He comes at him again and he whaps in the face. He spits out more teeth. He goes, "You knocked out more of my teeth."
And then I'm sitting there going, and then of course it was a Dan Inosanto sighting from Enter the Dragon. That's hey Sticks.
That's him. Yeah, Sticks. Yeah.
I just always I just got a kick out of him doing those. I got a kick out of him doing those movies, because it was always one of those things where you try to figure out exactly why he's doing what he's doing and what he's trying to with that accent that he's doing. I'm like, why has he got that that dopey accent?
Brooklyn accent you'll ever hear.
Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to figure that out. I was like, what is this guy doing with the stupid accent? But I actually took a girl to see what's the one where he's on the the one where he's on the boat.
Under Siege?
Under Siege. That was my concession movie, because I went to see 4 of her movies in a row. I was too stupid to remember that I hadn't seen one of my movies. And then I go, no, we're going to see the Seagal movie. And then she wound up liking it. I'm like,
That's a good one. In fact, someone did that on our podcast, and I remember very well Erica Laniak getting topless coming out of the cake.
Yes, indeedy. I mean, that's wrong.
Every dude. Yeah, it's horrible, right? I think Blockbuster said that's like one of their top 5 most like paused scenes. Like people would just watch it to that part, and then put the tape back in. The most paused film of all time, of course, is Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Phoebe Cates coming out of the pool.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's disgusting. So anyway,
right.
So what I really wanted to do is I wanted to find out, how everything got started with you, because I know that you're a stand-up comic, and I know that you do the podcast, obviously, because I listen to the podcast. So, what moved you to podcasting and this type of podcasting?
Great question. What got me to podcasting? I was on my honeymoon in Hawaii, and my friend Monica Vita, also a comic, she would be lamenting on Facebook all the time about all these horrible dates she was on. And I said, what we should do, just a podcast, because every jerk off comic, hand in the air, your hand is in the air too, has a podcast. And I said, let's do a podcast. We talk dating, we talk, all that good stuff. I definitely had my stories of dating, and we invited comedian friends on to talk about the podcast. We had them come over to my house and we taped, and it was fun. And then she had actually had to move back to Denver to be, her mom's not doing too well, so she had to move back to Denver. So the podcast pretty much ended. I did it with a couple other female co-hosts for a little bit, and it just kind of fizzled out. And I didn't really put near as much effort into it as I am with this one. So the second podcast I did, was with a buddy of mine, Jeff Paul, another comic. It's called the Sportsbook Box Office Podcast, where we talk movies and sports. It's two things we're very knowledgeable in. Problem though is, of course, it's not evergreen content. And my friend Gerard Harron, who I did fantasy football jibber jabber with for a couple of seasons, said you need to have podcasts out there that is evergreen, because no one's going to give a shit about, oh, it came out this weekend, and by the way, the Giants covered 5.5. No one's going to care about to go back and listen to that 4 years from now. So we did that for a year or so, and it was good. It was fun. Again, didn't put near the effort into it as I did with this. Then I go into making my shows for Amazon, my show for Amazon Comics, Watching Comics, which, if you heard of it, it's not anymore. I'm going to put it on YouTube. It's on Twitch TV now. Basically, it's Mystery Science Theater 3000 meets Last Comic Standing. Mm-hmm. And it was a kind of comedy / reality show. So I realized that, and I don't know how long I've been doing comedy for. I'm in 11 years. Comedy, stand-up is not my end game. My end game, I learned while doing it, is creating shows and hosting them. I think I'm very good at that. Mm-hmm. I've created several shows, again, fantasy football jibber jabber, comics watching comics. I shot a little mini pilot called Comics Watching Football. And I had the idea for the movie podcast, because all those things that, advice that was given to me, hey, make sure you have something that's evergreen. You know what? You know so much about films and you're very opinionated about them. Want to do a podcast. So that's a good idea. Now, what's the hook? The hook was, I can't go out there and just talk about movies, because no one gives two shits what a nobody like me thinks about films. And I got news for you other people out there, podcasters, brand new people. No one cares about your fucking thoughts either. No one does. Unless you're a known celebrity or you're insanely funny that no one's going to find out for a long time. No one cares. Mm-hmm. So the hook is this. That's why I came up with the hook. How many podcasts do they have now where people, sit around, either talk about a movie or they trash a shitty movie? That's like dunking on a midget. There's no sport to that. It's too easy to do. What I want to do is said, you know what? Let's have people come on, because I'm very vocal about some films I fucking hate that people love. For example, I despise, and I even did it. I even sat in the gutters chair on my own show and tore apart A Christmas Story. That film is fucking garbage. My co-host Kevin Israel did the same, but he did it with The Shining. He thinks it's insanely overrated. So I said, let's come up with something where it's, hey, let's have people out there. Let's invite them to come on and have those unpopular opinions. Sometimes we're going to agree with them. Sometimes we're going to go, who cares? Sometimes we're going to say you're an asshole. And that's how it came about. Now, when I started doing this, people were like, that's a brilliant idea. Like, that's a great idea. They were saying the same thing about some other shows, but not as excited about when I would tell them about this idea. They go, that's fucking brilliant, man. No one is doing that. So I decided to really just dig in and ride the shit out of this horse before someone maybe bigger than me has the idea. So that way I'm established in, there's no one doing what I'm doing and doing it as well and as funny as I'm doing it. So, and we just dropped our 100th episode this week. So we've made it 100 episodes in a couple of weeks, actually a week and a half. We're going to turn 2 years, have our 2-year anniversary. So 2 years of just, and the difference between this and the other podcast is I am so on top of things. Like before, you could just, you post it twice, your friends would retweet it once. Okay. And that was it. And maybe got, a handful of downloads. Now I'm just, we have three or usually 3 video clips. I retweet 4 or 5 times a day. We have a blog that we update that's written every day as a new piece of content, Monday through Friday on guttingthesacredcow.com. We have a merch shop. We did a live show. We're going to do another live show. The live show was 2 of our favorite panelists, Schultz and Joanne Nosachinski. They're on the morning show on Compound Network. They're awesome. They have me on all the time. They're so funny and talented. We rented out a theater back in January, and we invited, because of COVID, obviously we could only sell 25% of capacity tickets, which translated to about 45 tickets or so. And we and Bill and Joanne said that they had a joint decision. They go, and we've had them on separately too, and they're great. That's why we had them do the live show. They wanted to do the Karate Kid, which perfectly coincided with the season 3 of Cobra Kai release. So we came out, we watched the movie in the theater right then and there with our fans, and did a live show right then and there on the spot. So that's the goal in the end, to do live shows all across the country, and get picked up by a network and do this for the rest of my life and never have to set foot back in corporate America ever again.
And double congratulations.
And that's the story of podcast.
Yeah, and double congratulations, because 100 is it's a big number, my friend. It's a big number.
Yeah. What's the number they say? 90% of podcasts don't make it past episode
7.
like 5, 7, 5. There you go. I said 5, you said 7. We'll call it 6. Split the difference. Yeah, you're right. And again, and here's the thing too. Most podcasts are shit. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest thing to do is differentiate yourself. Like, you got to hack through all the weeds of people like, oh, come on, we're better than every other movie podcast out there. We're different. And just proving yourself to get that chance, to get that hour of the consumer's attention and say, hey, we said we're damn good. Give us a chance. We promise we'll hook you. That's the race now. After that, once we get established and people are like, yeah, this is a great fucking idea, then I think will be a lot easier. But right now, I think we're making good headway. We're not anywhere near there yet, but we're making some pretty good headway.
You would love to do every show live, wouldn't you?
100%. Are you kidding me? The funny part about doing the live show was with COVID, like I said, people had to wear a mask in the theater. So as comics, you know this, our ears are like fucking bats, where I'm straining to hear the laugh. The problem, though, of course, everyone wearing masks. So unless the joke killed, you couldn't hear laughter. So the jokes that did well, but not like, holy fuck, that's hilarious, I was like, oh man, I thought that was a real good one. Fuck. So you'd have to go. So you had to listen to the replay because we had the theater mic'd up and shit. But my wife and my friends who were sitting right in the throng of everything, like, no. People are fucking laughing from beginning to end. Like, I understand why. Like, the noise is from down there. So up there, we're down here. So I was like, oh shit, are we not doing as well as I think we're doing? No, it was just the masks, and that was it. But yeah, I would love to do live shows. Just everyone watch the movie in the theater together, do the live show on the spot, or we come out and say, hey, this week, Bill Schultz is going to take on Big or whatever, and then everyone watch Big. And then when the episode drops, it's all fresh in your mind, with Big, and away we go.
That's there's just certain things as a comic that, I mean, after a few years, after you get to year 10, nothing really throws you at that point. But, to answer your question, I started in 1986.
Oh my Lord. I was 10.
I was 17. I had just turned 17.
I didn't start stand up until I was 31. So
that's not a bad age. At least you have a bigger filter to put the world, to put things through.
Exactly. That is exactly right. I'm not talking about my dick, weed, or, I don't know. What are the comics? What do those youngsters say when they first start out?
Yeah, it's kind of funny to watch because when you're a kid comic, I just remember purposely not doing that because I knew that's what everybody expected. My thing, bro. Yeah, I know. I didn't want to do that.
Who here loves jerking off? Yo.
I purposely stayed away from all of that stuff because I wanted to show how adult I was to all these grown-ups. I'm not going to be an adult till next year, but I'm going to show them how smart I am. So I'm going to talk about things that, audience looks at you like, shut up. You have a mustache yet. Shut up.
Motherfucker, have you paid taxes?
Ironic.
You got in the car to a job that you hate, that you're relegated to because you have to put food on the table and have to pay kids insurance and braces and all that shit. No, fuck you.
You spend 10 years being younger than everybody in the audience. By the time you've mastered the craft, the little techniques, you're just turning 26, 27. Now I'll listen to you now. You're an adult. Yeah. You're not some punk kid that can't grow a mustache yet.
You're so right. Even when I was brand new and I hear these, like, there was a guy, who started when he was 16. He's around the circuit. I go, shut the fuck up. Like, who cares? Oh, someone got a C in geometry? Suck my dick. I just got downsized. Fuck off. That always cracked when you do a college gig and everyone there is older than you are. Like, what the hell is this boy? I have yet to do a college gig, and I don't think I'll be doing those anytime soon based on the current climate.
You don't want to do that.
No, I don't want everyone I want everyone sitting here like this. That's not my idea of a good time. And it's a pain in the dick to do, from what I'm told. But
Yeah, I backed off of that 2 decades ago. No, not that long. But I mean, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I would say that's a long time to fuck off from that, man.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just like comedy clubs and and it's like when you're talking about venues, theaters, and stuff like that. I say, I just come on, just show up with some life experience, and because when you deal with the college kids, a lot of times it's the very. You said you worked in corporate America, so I know the difference
Still
between
do.
sales training, right? When you go to a sales
Mm-hmm.
training inside of you're sitting there in the boardroom and you're going, oh God, they handed this book, learn these techniques, bang, they slap the book down and you're going, I'm going to shoot myself as I jump out this window. And then you realize this,
I'll do you more better than that. More better. What the fuck is wrong with me? Bad grammar. Are you kidding me? I'm a smart guy, I think. I'll do you better than that. My favorite, and my friends love when I have to go to corporate America meetings, because I will just corporate America meeting day one, and I just start reporting on the things I see. And my buddy calls it, my buddy Ron Barber, I call my consigliere. He says, you need your show, because it's called Let Me Tell You Something. Because when I go to my rant, I sound exactly like Colin Quinn, and I can even do a good Colin Quinn impression. So he goes, I hear Colin Quinn doing this. He's like, you need to do that. Some things I can say, some things we can't say. But it's just that corporate America shit. It's just fucking ammo. And whenever I play, I go, guess who's got a meeting in 3 days? Everyone's like on my Facebook post, like, oh, we can't wait. Make sure you tag me. I don't want to miss a thing. So you're 100% right. The corporate America meetings and the double speak and the fucking horse shit and the ball licking. It's so awful. I would not wish this on anyone who was caught in the Afghanistan caves who was serving for bin Laden. I would not wish that upon them.
it's just, I was just talking to another person, the last person I had on the show, Juliet. She was talking about corporate America. We were just lamenting.
Her last name would not be Juliet Miranda, would it?
Yes.
That's my girl. She's done 3 episodes we taped with her last night. I love her and her husband. They're both amazing people.
Yeah, we were both trashing corporate America for the last part of the show. Because I have flashbacks of you put on I call it the outfit. I refuse to say suit. You put on the outfit. You got they put that crap in front of you, and you're sitting at your desk, and the sales training was I'm sitting there going, this is the dumbest. We have to talk about yes momentum when talking to clients, and you want to jump out of one
continuum. It's like call continuum.
God, it's just the only time it actually came in handy was when I bought a new car. And I could see the sales training in the person. I'm going, let me just torture this jackass for a while because I know what he's doing.
I know. I do the same thing. Whenever someone calls me, I go, stop. I'm in medical sales. Stop it now. I know you're trying to do the fucking what's that stupid technique? Whenever the main one, the challenger. Stop it. I see right through your horse shit. Stop with. Oh, okay. You got me.
You can see how this would be beneficial to you, right? I mean,
well, you know what? I tell you what it does do. With crowd work, I'm very good at crowd work because sales is crowd work. It's the same fucking thing. Ask the right questions, know how to answer, know how to try to anticipate a lot of the answers, and then guide them down the path that you want to go. And crowd work is easy.
No, when you decided to do, because I was just a kid when I decided to do stand up, I just loved watching. I literally. The comics that I was influenced by, that I started watching early on, we're going from Rodney Dangerfield to Richard Pryor to Robert Klein,
Sure.
Literally I ran the gamut because I really just loved all of this stuff, and I loved watching all of the techniques and how they sculpted jokes, and you write them down, and But what made you pick up the microphone for the first time?
This is a story. So everyone asks the usual question, what made you do comedy? And everyone's like, well, I was always the funny kid in class, or, some would say the class clown. Just, I was always a ball buster. Like I ran into this guy I haven't seen since the 6th grade. And we changed middle schools. We built a new middle school. My buddy's friends with this guy. And he said, and this guy, I ran into at the Misfits concert like 2 years ago at the Garden. And he's like, dude, you were the funniest fucking guy. I go, I don't remember being funny at all in sixth grade. He goes, I remember the exact moment where I'm like, this guy's got balls. He's like, you basically told a substitute to go fuck himself in the most pristine way without saying go fuck yourself. He goes, something he said, and you just kind of, yeah, well, no. And then pow. He told me what it was. I forgot. Yeah. I'm like, really? So then I wrote a bunch of shit down when I graduated college. I go, you know what? Why not give it a try? I never did. And then so I was in corporate America. I started out in diagnostic sales. Then I became a drug rep, pharmaceutical sales. And in I got downsized in 09, 08, I guess this was. I was saying, you know what? I'm just watching people. Like I call them the zombies in the car or zombies in the subway. Like it's the same. Oh, that's right. This is not a video podcast. It's the same, like the spaced out, like you're there, but you're not, look in your face that people have on their face for every fucking day of their lives for 45-ish years. And I said, I can't do that. My old man had 2 heart attacks. He had a heart attack when I was 18. He was what, 20? I'm sorry, I'm gonna do the math real fast. I think it was like 41 or 43, right around there. Basically, I'm older than my dad was when he had his first heart attack. He had another one after that 6 years later. So he had to medically retire early. He's fine now. Spoiler alert, he's still alive and kicking. If you call living with my mom alive and kicking. So I said, I can't live my life. My dad just flying all across the country, doing presentations, working 60 fucking hours a week. It's just, this sucks. I go, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a go. And then I went to go see a little movie called Up in the Air, only because Avatar was sold out. But I wanted to see Up in the Air anyway. I'm sure you've seen Up in the Air, correct? With George Clooney?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking love it. It's an amazing film. It's a parable for me. And the line of lines is when the guy who plays Spider-Man, J.K. Simmons, Clooney fires him and then J.K. Simmons slides a picture of his kids across the table and goes, well, what do I tell them? And he looks at his resume and he says, well, you down here, says down here, you minored in French culinary cuisine. You worked at the top French restaurant in town after you graduated as a chef. And in the line of lines, he says, tell me this, how much did they pay you to give up on your dream? He goes, $28,000 a year. You go, holy shit, that's a moment. So then after that, I got home from the theater and no joke, I just started writing shit. And I had one of those old school MP3 players. I just I printed it, I typed it because my writing's atrocious. And I wanted to have thought flow. Because I'd say we all go through the same joke school. I watch Rodney. I watch Dave Attell. I watch Daniel Tosh. I watch fucking Eddie Murphy. I watch Chris Rock, the greats. So I wrote it all out, typed it all out, recited it into this MP3 player, burned it onto a CD. This is before really, I made iPods, but they weren't like, phones now. Yeah. And I just put it in my car and just listened to me. Oh, and I had 15 minutes of shit I wrote down. Now, of course, when you boil it down, I probably had 3 to 5 minutes at best of material, at best. So I go to my first open mic, March 12th, 2010 at the Village Lantern in the West Village in Manhattan. And that's that.
You started out in Manny-Hanny. Interesting. You know, it's funny when you have the comics that are from Boston, New York, pretty much any place, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Northeast Quarter comedians.
Right.
It's a different type of energy. And even though we grew up in different cities, and I hate all of your teams most likely. And
I hate your fans and your city with the most burning passion of 1,000 suns. Believe me, your Eagles are the worst fans in the history of sports. And
the funny thing about it is, and of course, I feel exactly the same way about your teams. Not the city, because I used to live in New York, but the thing is, F all of your teams. But the thing is, I can't even be. It's like you just said that, and I'm like, he's from New York. He's supposed to feel that way. It's like, how am I supposed to be offended by that when that's exactly how you're supposed to be feeling?
But even true Philly fans, one of my very good friends, can't explain this asshole. He's a Met fan and an Eagles fan. This asshole, I go, you can't defend your fans. Like, at least, you can't. Giant fans are boring. My buddy season tickets. I go with them. I don't know how many games a year. Giant fans are boring unless Dallas or Philly comes to town or the Patriots. You could hear a cell phone conversation, three sections away. But Philly fans are across the board. You can poll any fucking fan. Philly fans are the most garbage, unknowledgeable fans ever. Second, Raiders fans. I was just in Vegas last week and I saw shit. But Philly fans are the worst. Cowboy fans, here's the thing about Cowboy fans. We both hate Cowboys fans. We don't hate Dallas fans from Dallas. Mm-hmm. We hate Dallas fans who live in the Northeast because they're all fucking bandwagon pieces of shit.
Yeah, they stink. And, right. Because the thing is, because like I said, all of the stuff you just said about Philadelphia fans, it just rolled off my back because you're from New York and you're supposed to feel that way. You know what I mean?
It's true. You guys hate horse shit. You guys hate horse shit during the parade. That's garbage.
Hey, you got to put something on the cheesesteaks. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying,
to cover up the taste of grade D shaved meat. Yeah, of course you do.
That was the funniest thing when I saw that. I'm going. Even the dudes that I knew that actually live near the stadium who are insane were going, dude, that guy's nuts. They're like, we're nuts, but that guy is really nuts. Because
to the worst. I did a joke. I go, Philadelphia fans, I'm like, you hear the N word more in the 700 section of Lincoln Financial than you do in a march to Charlottesville. So
I tried to explain to people. I used to do jokes about the 700 level around different, but obviously I would have to, like a New York guy or New Jersey guy, Baltimore. Right. They know I could say 700 level, and you've either been there or heard of it. Obviously, I'm from the city, but other parts of the country, I would go 700 level, and they were like,
all you had to say was we had a court and a judge in our stadium because the fans are so garbage, and a jail. That's how trashy Eagle fans are. That should tell all tales what to expect.
By the way,
of the fan.
For the people in Philadelphia, I'm just just want to let you know right now that I'm putting up with this because he's a guest on the show, and I'm not talking. And I'm not going to talk about the fact that the reason that the Giants fans are boring is because they're all 80.
That's true. I'm not arguing. Not arguing with you one bit. Not one bit. It is an older fan base. We don't get lively until those three teams come in. I mean, Titans can roll in there. Oh, that's cool. Whatever. We don't hate the Titans. We don't hate the Vikings or whatever. It's those three teams, and when they come in, then it's game on. Then that's your ass. But other than that, whatever. Enjoy the game.
Even the game the game that they lost Sunday. How are you going to get worked up over the 49ers? I mean, come on. I mean, I lived in San Francisco, so I got love for them. I got some love for the city of New York and the people of New York after teams. The people of New York, because I lived there that's really weird. I lived there in the 80s in New York for a while. I lived the entire 90s in Los Angeles.
You missed the good times in New York. The 80s, we all sucked. The Mets won one World Series, and that was it. The Yanks, the Rangers, the fucking Giants. The Giants have a couple now. But the 80s were bad for New York teams, except for, again, the Giants in 86 and the Mets in 86, and then the Giants in 90, and then it wasn't the Yankees until 94. They were really good. 95 was a strike, and then 96, the rest is history. And then the Rangers had the cup in 94, but the 80s, ooh, rough time.
Yeah, it was fun laughing at the it's just really a weird thing. And then the Eagles win the Super Bowl in 17 to 18 season. And you would be surprised if I actually took you with me to that parade, you would not recognize the fans with the way they behaved during that entire Super Bowl celebration. It was like going to what you expect. Everyone was so on their perfect behavior. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was sitting there going, what? And you see like a tough guy, with tough guys. One guy stepped on another guy's foot. Now, under normal circumstances, this is a fight. This is a hardcore fight.
And this is why we make fun of you guys.
And
your fellow fans. One guy steps on your foot, like, oh shit, my bad.
No. But it's a fight. Literally, I mean, the guy. I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, everybody was so pressed together. And I'm like, oh, am I going to have to punch somebody just to get out of here? Is what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm literally thinking I'm literally going to have to physically fight someone just so I can get into a clear area because I'm expecting fists to hit me in the head. I'm going, oh man, I've already been through this. And he just looks at the guy and goes, "Hey, buddy," hugs him. "No worries."
Yeah.
And I went,
see what winning does?
"What?"
Again, you guys then again, you guys don't know what winning is because you haven't won anything in a long time until then.
You mean since your fans were old enough to have healthy sized prostates? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, the Giants beat the Patriots too. Oh wait, they beat them twice.
You know what?
Twice.
I actually, that was one of the few times I actually was sitting there pumping my fist for the Giants.
I don't believe you.
Yes,
I don't believe you for a second. I don't believe you for a second because you're not a true Eagles fan. As a true Giants fan, it killed me. It killed me. And I did it twice to root for the Patriots in the Super Bowl against you guys. I did it twice, and I'll do it again every time. I will never. I'll root for Al Qaeda before I root for Philly. That's the way it is.
Here's the thing, though. You see, it would have not happened except for the fact that they lost to the Patriots. And, with all that Spygate and all that kind of crap. And I was like, I'll give you one. Now, if your bus breaks down and they all catch food poisoning tomorrow, I'll be like, go food poisoning. But that's just, but that's just a different story.
No, you can't blame Spygate. You can blame Donovan McNabb for getting hammered, apparently, according to T.O., and puking like a little bitch on the final drive in the fourth quarter. That's what you can blame it on.
I just don't understand the fact that it's like you got to the Super Bowl the second you get this guy. He's having a contract dispute with the team. If it's me, I would go, would you just pay the guy? Do you see what just happened? His foot looks like the bottom of a damn total gym with a bolt through it. And
he had like what 10 for 130 or something crazy like that.
And he could only run in a straight line. He couldn't even make cuts. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there going, just pay the man. Even if you get one Super Bowl out of it, it's worth it. Just pay the man and stop being it. I might have done that at a press conference. S. Anthony, what do you think? You're the quarterback of the Eagles. Yeah, we won the game. Pay my receiver. Now.
That's what the Giants did with Eli Manning. They won the first one, and they gave him a fucking treasure chest full of money. And then we got a bonus one. We got another one out of that boy. Yes.
You know what the funny thing is? He actually played better than his brother in the Super Bowl.
You are 100% right. And I said this for years. You give me Peyton Manning week 1 through 16, but you give me Eli Manning week 17 on. Not even close.
I was completely shocked.
And that last Super Bowl, he was so bad, Peyton. So bad.
I don't know what that was.
No, I do. That was the defense, and I won money on that game. Thank you, because Carolina didn't change any of their calls, and they planned the parade 2 days beforehand to celebrate. And then that's the kiss. As soon as I heard, they go, "That's all I need to hear." And I threw down $1,000 on that game, I think, and Denver won that game in 3 minutes.
What do you think of the last Super Bowl though?
I loved it because I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the money line. I knew they were going to win. I said money line. I don't need the +3. I had a buddy of mine who's a mush. Then my buddy Jeff Paul, the aforementioned, he's terrible at picking games. His locks of the week are terrible. I love him to death, but he's a square. He bets nothing but favorites and doesn't realize how they can get backdoored when they're laying more than 3 points. Anyway.
I put it on
Facebook. Go ahead, hold on. I'll finish this. I put it on Facebook because I had money on Green. I teased Green Bay down to -1. The game they lost, and they still could have won because Brady threw 3 picks. But the fucking Tampa Bay pass rush ate them alive. And I go, I've seen this movie before. Not only is Tom Brady at home, it is the story of stories and pass rushes when defenses. I should know. My team's done it a lot. And I said, there's no way the Chiefs are winning this. Now, they lost one lineman during that AFC championship game. And I put my money in the night of the championship games. It just so happened they lost another lineman that week. And I put even more money on. I said, I don't care if Patrick Mahomes is the greatest Brady is than Mahomes. I said, I don't care how good you are. You can't be missing both your tackles and think you're going to win that fucking game. And when they held to a field goal in that first possession, I go, oh, I'm feeling good. And after that, it was all downhill for the Chiefs and me throwing money in the air like Scrooge McDuck and DuckTales going, woohoo, easy call for me. And my buddy, he called me, he goes, yeah, I'll take a bet. KC -3. I go, you get Tampa Bay +3. I go, I'm not even going to need the 3. Don't even need the 3. He texts me midway through the third quarter. He goes, all right, where do you want to go for stakes? He already threw the towel in. He already knew it was over, and it was. But yeah, I loved it because I won. I mean, probably all in everything with bets, props, and even the box. I won like $6,000 on the Super Bowl. So it was a great Super Bowl.
What do you think of the odds of a nice old-fashioned Super Bowl rematch?
I like it. I do. The only thing that's going to scare me a little bit is Chiefs defense is fucking terrible. And then again, this coming from the guy who had the Chiefs money line Sunday night and looked good for a long time until they gave up 21 goddamn points in the fourth quarter. They got gashed. They couldn't stop that run attack at all. At all. And the sad thing is, my boy Spagnuolo, the Giants defensive coordinator for those Super Bowls, is now the DC for the Chiefs. What is so for a while, actually. Mm-hmm. And I'm worried about the Chiefs defense. I mean, listen, we all know their offense is go out there and light that shit up on the scoreboard. But if they need to make a stop, are they making a stop? They need that first round bye. That's what they need. If they get that, if they have everything has to go through Arrowhead, then without question, they're going back. If they have to play a road game, and I got to think where, I don't know about Baltimore. Maybe. I don't think they're going to get struck by lightning twice. But I can't think of anybody else in that AFC. Tennessee, no, their defense is fucking terrible. The Colts stink. Well, what are the divisions? The Bills, maybe. If they have to go to, I tell you, if they have to go to Buffalo, that could be a problem. If they have to, if they're home for all those games, I think it's going to be easy. And I also have I bet the Bucks to win division. I think that's an easy ass bet that's going to cash pretty damn fast. But I think it's very likely as long as the Chiefs get a first round bye and they have a home field throughout. I don't see it happening any other way.
And then it happens. It's February. Chiefs, healthy line this time. Chiefs, healthy, pretty much healthy this time. Bucks, healthy again. Revenge. What happens?
What do you make the line? That's the question. Because that's what I care about. I don't hate Tom Brady. I hate the Patriots and their fans. I don't hate Tom Brady. I'm not one of those Giant fans who despise him that much. On the line, I got to see who's getting the points because I think I'll take especially if it's a field goal or more. Oh, I'm taking the points. But, boy, I got to see how the defense plays during the stretch. I do. That's the barometer for the Chiefs I'm talking about. I know the Bucks will be there. I got to see how that Chief defense tightens up. If they're giving up 28 points a game, that's a fucking problem. If they're not, then I could be convinced to take the Chiefs. But again, I got to see down the stretch how they play defensively.
Just imagine the Chiefs with a Jim Johnson defense with that all.
Oh my God.
Imagine we had Jim Johnson's defense and that offense.
Yeah, all in blitzes every fucking minute here is what they'd be doing.
Yeah, because he was like, all you got to do is keep him to 17 points. That's all you got to do. He couldn't score it, Yeah.
Well, that's what the Giants did. In fact, when they asked Plaxico, what's the score? He goes 21-17. And even Brady goes, really, Plax? Only 17 points. And that was the final fucking score. He called it. Sorry, 17-14. Excuse me. Final score, he called it. That's what they did. And the key is putting Tom Brady on his ass. He does not like to get hit. And that's what they did. They brought even Nora, Strahan, Tuck, all those guys, Kiwanuka, and they just made him eat. Jay Alford had a sack too, made him eat dirt. That's how you beat him.
Isn't that what happened to the greatest show on turf, though? They ran through the NFC East and basically was like, hey, you can slow these guys down if you punch them in the throat.
Well, that's before they changed the rules, and that's when Spygate was in full effect before they caught on to it.
Yeah, because I just get a kick out of it because I didn't get an opportunity. I was doing something else. I didn't get an opportunity to see the game. But when I saw that the Eagles only scored 3 points, I was like, oh, guys. Okay. I was like, a 91-yard pass, you're inside the 5. And I'm sitting there going, you could kick the field goal if you want to. I mean, it's right there. You could just,
I think your coach is mentally disabled, by the way. You ever see those press conferences? I've seen the guy from Sling Blade put more coherent thoughts together.
I'm sitting there going, what's that guy that was the old manager for the Phillies? He went to
Charlie Manuel?
Oh no. He actually won. The guy that just went. The guy that just went to San Francisco. Gabe Kapler.
Kapler.
Oh my god! I was like, it was like we have another one in town. He
I
got a
remember 2009. Hey, do you remember the 2009 World Series? I sure do. I was at the parade. I don't think you were.
no, I was at the one the year before.
Oh, when you beat the Rays, good for you. But you couldn't be beating the best team in baseball. It didn't happen.
You mean who didn't get there?
We beat you when we face you, and that's all we can say.
And all I'm saying is your team stink. Okay, I had to.
You know who stinks?
Had to
You know
throw
who
that in there.
stinks? Pedro Martinez in Game 6. That's who stunk. for
All
you
I'm
guys.
saying
that
is
that was great.
the Yankees stink. And every
This-
one of
this
and
year-
every
this
one
year's
of those World Series they were cheating. I'm
they weren't.
I'm just gonna playfully hate on your teams. And another thing, Bill Parcells, he's cheating.
That's it. That's it. Because if you had Lawrence Taylor on your team, you'd say, you know what, you guys, you're all cheating, right? I'm sure.
Yeah, he cheated by having all that talent, and I say that's illegal.
and cocaine and underage pussy.
I still haven't seen anybody like that guy. Jesus Christ.
And you never will.
Because they always go, oh,
funniest-
the next Lawrence. I'm like, stop it, stop.
Do you,
Stop.
You want to go? This is Bill Belichick is so fucking under the radar funny. This is 2 years ago, maybe even 3. They're playing the Raiders, I think, and they're going, How's it feel to face the best linebacker in the game right now, or recent memory? And they're talking about Khalil Mack, and he stops. He goes, "Are you serious? Do you remember who I coach?" He goes, "You're kidding me, right? There's no comparison from Khalil Mack to Lawrence fucking Taylor, you idiot." He dressed him down. He goes, "You're kidding me, right? Like you're bullshitting me." With Khalil fucking Mack versus Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player ever to play the game. There's no argument from anybody.
Yeah, I just got a kick out of it whenever somebody, like I said, I don't like New York teams. They stink. And so, but the thing is, if even I, as a person who was raised in Philadelphia, if I hear somebody get compared to Lawrence Taylor, I have this urge to smack them. Come here, I'm gonna show you something. You know, and this guy's the next Jordan. Okay, come here. I'm gonna show you something.
Yeah. Oh, that LeBron's the next Jordan. Stop it.
Stop.
You can cut that bullshit off right now too.
Yeah, my nephew does that garbage, and he goes, "Hey, Unc, you know LeBron James is the next." No. Stop.
Was he undefeated in the finals? Nope. Okay,
yeah, but he got there, bro. I said, yeah,
Nope.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
How
really.
many Game 7s did Jordan lose?
Oh, that's right. He didn't have any.
You get to him.
I know. Well, that's and I try to explain, even on the UFC side. I don't know if you watch the UFC.
I don't. My brother does. He tells me what to bet for UFC. I know football. I bet football well, and baseball I know well, but I don't know anything about UFC.
How the hell do you live in New York City and you're
I
a
just
sports
don't care.
fan? And
You
disgust me.
Because of you should. Be. I could care less about UFC. I really could care less. Doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather watch football. I'd rather watch baseball. I mean, hockey to a degree. And I haven't watched the NBA in so long. NBA has been so bad for so long. It's gotten better, but from what I'm told. But when it became street ball in like 2000, I tapped out. I go, that's it. I'm done. It's funny. I was watching The Last Dance, as we all did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, that's when basketball was at its fucking best. You know, late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s too, even late 90s. I'm like, man, that's when the hoops first. I'm like, there's Shrimp, there's Sean Kemp, there's Gary fucking Payton, there's all those fucking and Nate McMillan, all those guys. You're like, God damn.
You should watch a YouTube video. There was a YouTube video that said LeBron fans finally give it up to Jordan, because this kid was a LeBron James fan, and he sat down and did a reaction video to watching Michael Jordan's 50 best plays, and by the time it was over, he was like, okay. he just gave up the ghost. He was like, all right, LeBron can't do that. No offense to LeBron.
Plenty of offense. I tell you one more thing too about that, and we could probably shift topics. But do you think Jordan would have ever taken a day off for load management like these pussies are doing right now? Do you think Jordan would have ever sit down unless he was dying? His dad fucking died, and he went out and came back. He took a year, came back, and won. He had the flu, dropped 60 on the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Jordan's taking a day off for load management?
No.
No fucking chance.
Yeah, I
no
just,
chance.
Well, I actually think about it this way, because it's not like what you do or what I do, which we can do till we're like 150 years old. To you, when you drop dead, you can stop, recording shows or doing comedy. You can do it forever. We've seen our
Right.
favorite comics do it forever. What was Rickles when he died? 116. He was still doing shows in Vegas, right? And George Burns, same thing. But if you're a professional athlete, you have a tiny window in your life. You have this one little tiny little piece of your life where you can perform at that level. If it's me, I'm not giving up one damn second of that. There will be no load management. There will be no nights off unless my doctor goes, sit down. Other than that, there's hell no. Because by the time you're 34, it's over for the most part. It's over. It's done. I mean, LeBron's still playing, and he's still playing at a high level, but he's not playing like 28-year-old LeBron. 32-year-old LeBron. Let's keep it real. He's pushing 40 now. So if you have a finite amount of time to be able to perform at that level, imagine if you were only funny between 24 and 34, and after that you're not funny anymore. You gonna take some nights off? Forget that show. I'm gonna take a few shows off. Hell no, you're not. You're gonna do every damn show.
Right.
And that's why I never understood why people would do that if you don't absolutely have to. Hell no.
I
You agree with me?
I can't. Of course. Of course I agree with you.
Yeah. No, I was just acknowledging. Of course, you agree with me. The thing is, and I know that it's an important thing to acknowledge that before. So we're gonna be wrapping up in a couple seconds, because I want you to tell everybody once again where they can see you and hear all of your stuff. But more importantly, I just want to say this one thing before you do that. All teams in New York, including the entire state, all of them stink. Thank you.
Do I have to play the rings card with you guys? Do I have to do that? I mean, it's typical of New York, but we can have this. So the Flyers haven't won a cup in 46 years. Okay, check. The Sixers in 38 years. Okay, check. The Phillies 13 years. Okay, check. The Eagles won in 4 or 5 years. Okay, good. And who else am I missing? Are we going to talk about the indoor soccer league now? Is that where we're at?
Hey, what about the Soul? How about them, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I rest my case. That town's a bunch of losers. And I prove my point. Not saying New York. Listen, New York's going through no, renaissance right now. It's rough. Even the Yankees are looking rough. And God, I'm thinking if they make the playoffs, I don't think they're going to do jack shit. When they made those trades, they go, we're still going to be one and done.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. One and done. And the Giants are off to a rough start. Your Eagles are off to an okay start. You're not going to go anywhere. Don't believe the hype.
Their record's going to be very similar to what it is right now when the season's over. 8-9 or something like that, probably somewhere around there. 7-7.
I don't know.
7-10.
You played the worst team, one of the worst teams in football for your first win, and the Niners go out there banged up and beat you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then who do you guys have this week? Oh, Dallas. Ugh. I have Dallas as an under, so I actually hate to say it, but I have to hold my nose and root for you guys because I have Dallas under 9.5 wins this year. So
that's Monday night, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Where is that? Here or is that here? Like I'm in Philly. Is it okay? For the sake of our, is that in Philadelphia or is that in Dallas?
I think I don't know. We have a goddamn machine right in front of us, and we're just like, I don't know. Let me just pull an answer out of my ass.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to.
I think it's in Philly, but I'm going to double check for you right now.
Yeah, Monday.
The producer is not doing the job for us.
Yeah, if that's Monday night in Philadelphia, it's going to be pretty ugly.
No, it will be. That is for sure. Everyone hates Cowboy fans.
Because
these Cowboy fans,
an extra 9 or 10 hours to liquor up.
Well, not only that, you also have a year of not being able to see a game in person of, hatred that's stewing that long. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's in Dallas. I'm wrong. So there you have it.
Doesn't matter. They're still going to be there. There's still going to be a lot of green in that stadium.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. that's remember how big that stadium is. Yeah.
You're right. It's like what, almost 100,000, if that, more than?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of them there. Trust me. There's always a lot of them there.
Gross. They're like gremlins. Put some sunlight on them, and sunlight, proper education, and some vocabulary skills, and they disappear. That's the rule in Philly fans.
It's really a shame that Gutting the Sacred Cow was actually canceled, so don't listen to it. And
we're not canceled, not yet. But we're working on it. Believe me, we are working on that.
My friend. So run everything for everybody one more time for you.
All right. If you could stand my anti-Philly rhetoric for a moment, thank you very much. Guttingthesacredcow.com is where you find all the answers to your questions. All the links to every podcast platform imaginable is there. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, you name it, we're there. Podbean, Castbox, wherever, we're there. We also want you to go and subscribe too. If you like what you hear, give us a 5-star rating, 2 or 3 sentence review. And we're also on YouTube. Do us a favor. Go to YouTube. Subscribe. I don't give a shit if you turn off the notifications. All we need are those subscribers to go to 1,000 so we can get monetized. So the video, it's a video show, audio show. So you can watch us. You can watch our smug, smiling faces as we talk shit about films or defend them. Depends on the film. And crack wise with our friends on YouTube. So YouTube, subscribe, please. We're on Instagram, Gutting the Sacred Cow Podcast, Facebook as well. On Twitter at GTSC Podcast. Follow us there. That's where we do the majority of our interaction. And if you're an advertiser looking to advertise, hit us up, guttingthesacredcow at gmail.com. Or if you want to stop by and say hi, stay hi. We love talking to our fans. And we're actually we had a contest, and we have 2 winners. We asked our fans, because fans are like, well, if I was on your podcast, I would choose this film. I go, all right, assholes. I re-raise, all in. Here you go. I want you to pitch your films that you want to be on and tell us why. I mean, chose two super fans of our podcast, and you'll be surprised to hear the films that they have chosen to try and gut. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Commando.
Okay.
And another guy chose Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Where do you find
our fans find?
How do you?
Which is funny because that's the 3rd Indiana Jones film. The 4th one won't qualify because we all know it's a piece of shit. Bill Schultz, my buddy, he did a 3rd episode. He did Last Crusade. Said it's overrated. Doesn't hate it. One guy, Bobby Umar, did Temple of Doom. Did not like it at all. And I thought we called it the Bulletproof Crew. I had Raiders written down as bulletproof, meaning no one's going to have the balls to attack Raiders, Goodfellas, Naked Gun, Airplane, Back to the Future, Shawshank, LA Confidential, films like that. Films that are just fucking impervious to any kind of attack. And I thought The Matrix was one as well, and Toy Story and E.T., but here we are, right? But this guy goes, nope, Raiders. You go, well, you know what? I don't even need to hear your pitch. You're in, because I want to hear someone try and take down Raiders, because everyone loves Raiders. And people love Commando. Terminator 2. Add that to the list of bulletproof films as well. No, you can't fuck with that. Or Alien. There's another one for you as well.
Anybody that has anything bad to say about Shawshank should be smacked around by the entire staff as soon as they
I agree. Well, it's funny. My very good friend, Lynette Palladino, she chose my 2nd favorite film, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And she got eaten. I ate her alive. I'm like, don't fuck this up. I'm coming correct. I'm going to, because we never tip our hand. We always play the cards. We don't tip off until it's our turn to give our notes. They don't know where we sit. The gutters don't know where we stand until it's our turn. I go, nope, I'm going to come right on out and say, you're fucking dead. So you better bring your shit. You better bring every missile, every bullet, every mortar rocket, every fucking nuclear warhead you can find. Because when I'm done, the goddamn cockroaches will still have limbs scattered around when I torch this argument.
All I'm saying is that list of movies is the eggs at airplanes crew. You know what I mean? It's like airplanes are flying by and somebody's on the ground trying to hit them with an egg. As far as I'm concerned, it's like, yeah,
Shawshank. Good fucking luck. How can you argue that? You're gonna say it's overrated? How? You're still gonna lose.
Say
it sucks.
Yeah, find me a bad scene in that movie. Do you trust your wife?
So good.
That was the best. My friend, we've come to the end of the program. I want to thank you for coming on. And the most important thing I want to say is, one, I enjoyed talking to you. Two, you do a really, really, really solid, good podcast. I would recommend everybody check the podcast out. That's the truth. And the last thing is, New York blows. I just want to say that.
I knew that was coming. I'm like, here we go. Here comes the one. He's going to get one more shot in about his garbage hometown team. By the way, the winningest person to come out of that town of yours is a fictitious boxer. All right. And you know, yeah. So that's the most winning character is a guy who's a fake person. So
a fake person from what city originally?
I don't even know where he's from originally.
He's from New York.
Okay, I'm not a Sly Stallone biographer, so I'll take your word for it. But I love his films. It's just the most winning thing out of Philadelphia is.
Well, that would be me now.
I'd rather watch Rocky V than hang out with Eagles fans. How about that?
You see, I wasn't offended by everything else you said, but that was low right there. That was a step too far right there. I don't mind all that other stuff. That's good-natured hate between two good cities. But when you start to say that my city is worse than Rocky V, I'm edited. First of all, this podcast is now going to be edited down to 3 minutes, and the hell with you.
Oh shit! That's your loss. That's all this content down the drain you're missing on these gems and shit. I knew I had to get one better than you than the Rocky one. I go, let me dig deep. Let me really go to the core and get to the nuts of this motherfucker right now.
Yeah, that was
get them all rankled.
That was pretty low, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to edit that out. That was gonna hurt my feelings a little bit.
All right. Well, you can't edit out my memory. All right. So nanny boo boo. But listen, thank you for having me. This was a fucking blast. This hour and a half flew by so quickly. Holy shit.
Yes, indeed, my friend. And of course, we'll continue to torture each other on the web. Much love to you, my brother. And thank you.
Much love back to you, my friend.
Okay, take care.
Later.
All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. Do me a favor before you go. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't. Make sure to rate and review if you haven't. And I will see you again next time. Much love to you all. Take care.